Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome once again, Saraswati and
Thank you.
Shantanu.
Hi.
So now we'll go to the next step of our program. And before going there, we have gone through a process which we want to recapitulate once again, because it's very important that we go through the process again and again so that we are always in touch with all the steps. So initially we understood ourselves, knowing our DNA. Then we went through the wheel. What wheel?
The wheel of life, right?
Wheel of life.
Wheel of life.
Where we stand in the different areas of our life. From wheel of life, we went to find out our baselines, how to express, how to unexpressed. From there, we went into outcomes. Then we went to
had the
process.
codes. Right?
Yeah, we went into the codes, and then we came to the outcomes. Then how to what to do with the outcomes, how to plan it
How
out.
to go
Then,
about it,
then we had our power leaps. So we have all the processes in place. We have one by one put everything in the processes.
Yeah.
Now in life, things are not that simple also, that you put it in a process. Every step you have to take a lot of decisions. In life, every day is a challenge, and every time you have to take decisions. So once you are there to take decisions, you need a system, a process. And there will be a lot of complex things where a decision depends much into a person to person, it varies. It may be in a scenario with your baselines, with your other situation of life, the answers may be different. So we have to understand how we go through the decision making process. So let me first tell you a scenario. I'll read it out to you because things are not that simple all the time, but and answers can be different from different people. So you are at a family gathering. It's a situation. You are at a family gathering. You and your spouse are standing together, talking to your relative. One of your relatives makes a joke, and everyone laughs. You know that the person is a gem at heart, and they always crack jokes, and no intention to hurt anyone. Your spouse got offended and left the group. She is expecting you to do something about it. You don't understand the situation very well, Shantanu. To confront the relatives, you crack the joke. You love and respect your spouse, yet at the same time, you know your relative since your childhood and he is very close to you. What do you do in this situation? Now it's a decision making. What do you do in this situation?
So we're talking about some process, right?
Yeah. So this is a situation where if you want to just take a decision, you can do anything. You can fight with your friend, or you can just offend your wife, and what will happen next you know very well. So in such situations, how you will take decisions. So we'll just put this situation into a process, and I'll be asking you a set of questions.
Okay, means you want to say that this is the process by which we can just land up into the conclusion whether the decision that we make was correct or incorrect, right?
Yeah, to a great extent. See, I told you that it cannot be. It's not a formula based, or it's not that every time this will happen.
It cannot be.
It cannot
Be a win-win situation.
But we can be a better decision maker. If we follow this process, we will be a better decision maker.
Okay.
And our process, our endeavor is to be a better decision maker. So questions
We
will
will
be
be
different.
satisfied
Yeah,
by our
yeah.
decisions, right?
Okay.
That's the right word you have used. So first of all, we will try to know is what is the problem. So
Okay,
it is always the center.
The problem
Is always the center. What is the problem?
problem in this scenario is that the wife is offended
Yeah.
and she wants her husband to make a decision, like to decide between the wife and the relative.
Yeah.
So it's a very big problem.
I have an objection.
Yeah. Tell me.
It has never been mentioned that the wife is offended. Even the husband can be offended. It has just mentioned spouse, right?
See, there is the same situation can be different for Saraswati and can be different for
It
the
might be
other
that
person.
might be being a wife, I am giving importance to the wife's offense.
Okay.
I am not looking at the scenario of the relatives. Might be the relative is also offended. It can be that scenario.
No,
also,
I'm
right?
not saying.
Maybe the husband is
No,
offended.
well, I'm not saying that. I mean that in the problem statement, They have just mentioned spouse.
Yeah, that is
So
being a
spouse
wife. I'm
is-
also looking at that very point of view.
No. Spouse is unisex.
Yeah.
So we don't even know whether it's the husband who got
Yeah,
offended or the
otherwise,
wife.
yeah. I'm taking it from my point of
So
view.
it's good in our group we have both sides of the coin. So
Yeah,
that's-
exactly.
So the best thing
Two
is
different views
now we
we
know
have.
the problem that one of the spouses.
Yeah, the
Offended.
problem, the way I see it is that here I am in basically in the haunts of dilemma.
Right.
Haunts of dilemma because on one hand I have my spouse, on the other hand I have my very close relative.
Yeah. And who's
Okay.
a friend of yours?
So now my wife is expecting, if I am not wrong, my wife is expecting me to do something about it. So her expectation is very result oriented.
Right.
So probably she is expecting me to fight with my relative.
Okay.
I fight with my relative, I don't not only lose that relative, but probably my whole clan.
Yeah.
Because all other relatives are there.
Yeah.
So I'll be marked as someone who is basically Joluka Gulam.
100%.
Okay.
So
On the other
Yeah.
hand, if I don't do that, then probably my wife becomes even larger problem.
okay.
Right? So that's the problem I see.
Yeah. So now the problem is identified.
Yeah.
The second question comes: what are the choices we have?
Okay? So you want to go with the choices?
Choices, I think so. Either
So whenever there's a problem, you have to first identify the problem correctly. We give the right wordings to the problem, and the next step will be we'll have to find out the choices we have.
Yeah, the choices practically can be either I'll go one-sided with my spouse or with my relative, or I'll try to make a balance between both.
So you
Both
have
of
three
them.
choices, Shantanu.
I have even more choices.
So
Okay.
The best choice I can think is I faint there. So everyone forgets about everything else and comes rushes to me and take care of me.
but whenever you are thinking of choices, what do you think the consequence of these choices will be for yourself and others who are involved?
Yes. It will be a nice consequence for me because everyone will take care of me.
Okay.
And
But don't you think the people will have a feeling that this person has a health problem and people will...
that's okay.
You are okay with that?
The damage to
No,
of
what
that.
I think is the main thing here will be that he is so much hurted with this situation that they themselves will land into finding solution for that and he'll be saved. Exactly.
So the process...
For his sake, at least his wife will say, "Chalo,
See, my
just-"
wife will forget about that. So how I am
Okay.
looking at it is,
Okay.
my wife will
Good
definitely give this more importance.
I'll
right?
give up my this thing. I'll go with him.
So good. It was a good decision, and I always
No,
said that
it's not a final
I'm telling-
decision.
But I'm telling you, it's a good choice you can make. But you have any choice you make, you need to think of the consequences. it will
Yes. Yeah.
have. Think, because this may have different consequences. This also, and any other decision you take will have some consequences. So in any choices that you make, you have to think of the consequences in all the choices you make.
Yes.
And the next will be most important is what baselines do you need to consider in situations where the consequences, you have 2-3 consequences also, 3 options, what are the baselines you need
Yeah,
to
his
consider?
humor baseline is there. As he said, his baseline is humor.
Actually, yeah,
What I can
the-
find is your spouse and relative will not go and think into this, but I can see that.
So you can also say that yaar meri wife gussa ho gayi ya mera kya hoga, and your relatives become some.
I create a scene there, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you-
hi Rabba,
and-
kya hoga?
You can make it funny. So but here when we are taking decision, we have to find out what baselines do we need to consider. This is the question we'll have to
Yeah.
ask before
Yes.
any such scenario comes to us. And you see, we are getting answers.
Yeah, that is where the one that I just explained.
Yeah.
It is conflict. Yeah, while it is actually adhering to the humor, but it is conflicting with honor and trust.
Yeah.
So I can't take that decision.
So you see, your decisions, you wanted to make a choice, but once you wanted to filter it through your baselines,
Yes.
you had to
Yeah.
change your decision. So decision making process is coming to a better way. We are able to define it. How do you feel about the situation?
Helpless.
Yeah.
So it's
Helpless.
a good understanding of the situation. And the next question comes is there anything else you need to learn about it? Any learning?
Yeah, the learning is shit happens.
Yeah. And we should not speak unnecessary things in between of conversations. Otherwise, these things will land into problem.
But you have not done it. You are not.
There is a learning that
No, we are learning from others.
Yeah.
there is a learning that even if I go and speak out something, it's
Yes.
going to be a difficult situation for my spouse.
Right.
Right? So a big learning here. I'll not go and speak anything in public in groups.
Actually, do you need to ask for help? Or who will you ask?
Okay, so I have two solutions in mind. The one that I have already said.
Okay.
If I am going by that faint thing, I'll have to look for someone strong enough to not let me fall down.
Okay.
Okay,
When I'm
otherwise
fainting.
you'll be hurt.
Otherwise, I'll be hurt. So that's the help I require. Okay. Now coming to the actual solution that I can have. So I'm not going to run behind my wife.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll give her some time because that will give her some time to simmer also.
Okay.
Instead, what I'll do is I'll throw a joke loudly enough, even for my wife to listen to hear while she is going away,
Okay.
which is implicating the relative who had cracked the joke.
Okay.
I have full faith that the relative will understand that because he is also
Okay.
jovial. He knows me, I know him.
Okay.
Okay, so my joke will be taken as a joke. So here my humor baseline is getting satisfied.
Very good.
Okay,
Very
so my wife will be placated that okay, he has tit for tat, etc.
Okay.
But I know that it has not ended there. So
Okay.
after spending some time, I'll again jokingly tell them that okay, I need to.
So what is your final decision now?
Yeah, so that's the final
Yeah.
decision. This is the final decision. So this is what I'll do.
You have filtered it through all these questions.
Yes.
You measured your choices you had, then the consequences you have
Yes.
thought of, and the baselines are considered, and your feeling of the situation is known to you, and the help you now wanted is also ready.
Yes.
But here the help one question is not the help is here. How you say that the relative will be understanding that's
Yes,
the help.
because you didn't allow me to say the final one.
Achha.
The final one is that after the things have somewhat settled,
Okay.
I'll get my relative and my wife together
Okay.
in a table and thrash it out because this is something which I don't want to happen in the future.
Not linger.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I know my relative, my wife doesn't.
Okay.
So it is important that my wife also knows my relative
Okay.
so that she doesn't react that way again. And my relative also understands
unaware
that
of
my
it.
wife is not as receptive of his jokes as I am.
Yeah.
Right.
So that understanding has to
So
be.
this gives the answer that your decision is right, and you have the reasons
Yeah.
jotted down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy. I know that this particular scenario will not happen again.
Okay. So here is that this is the wheel that comes up when you are taking a decision. So this is called the decision
Making. Okay, means you want to say, exactly said and exactly framed out that
Yeah.
if our decision goes through these different filters,
Yeah.
we'll definitely be satisfied with our decisions.
Right.
Yeah.
So whenever we are in a
As he
difficult
is-
situation, we should always go through
Try
the
to
process.
find
See,
the
it's not that
step.
every time you'll get a pen or a pencil to write it down and work it out.
Logically,
But
we can.
once you are into this process, that whenever you are into a situation, you have to look for choices. You have to see that your baselines are met. You have to see that it doesn't.
Consequences
The
of the
consequences are
choices, yeah.
measured. The choices made are understood, and you take a decision, and you have to stand on your decision. And one thing is very clear: the decision-making process is not a formula, and it can be different with different people.
Yes.
Because it depends on your baselines, it depends on the situation, the locality.
Yeah,
there is
exactly.
a lot of things come into. So no situation has one specific decision, one specific answer. So with this, we come to close of this
Yeah.
decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.